Hello and welcome once again, fellow gaming fans. This is Small Archangel. Welcome back to 7 Days to Die, my creative zone. We have a piggy here, but whether I'll be able to hunt him or not, I don't know. This is the active part of my creative zone, which is to say that we do have zombies here, and this is a survival game. It's just not the one I've been airing in my video series. In fact, you saw the subterranean-based build that I showcased. I think it was the last creative zone video I did. This is actually the same save as that, but rather later in the day. You can see it's day 180 here now. So I've been playing this game for rather a long time, although interestingly enough haven't had that much time to play it recently, because I've been spending more time on trying to get finished up in our Let's Play series base. So this is my farm here. The story today really basically is that Helix and I have been having some technical issues with our sound levels since we both upgraded to Windows 10. There's known issues with mic levels and things like that, and we've definitely suffered from those, and we've generally found that either one or the other of us is virtually inaudible. Generally where we can hear each other absolutely fine, but when it comes to listening back to the recording, yeah, there are problems with one of us being inaudible. Usually the one who's made the video is themselves inaudible. So it's all been quite frustrating, really. I think I've got my sound levels sorted out now, but I'm not absolutely sure. Never say never. So the long and the short of it is, because we've struggled like mad to try and get our friendly fire series out there, I'm sort of filling the gaps with this showcase today. And also, yeah, just as a bit of a celebration of the end of Alpha 14, really, because we'll be on to Alpha 15 before you know it. In fact, at the time of airing this, because it's a pre-record, I imagine we'll probably already have Alpha 15. So, oi, Steve! Oh, hands off the garden, pal. It ain't yours. Okay, so you can see we've definitely got zombies here. We've actually got zombie spawns on max, actually, as you'd imagine by this stage in the game. But it's quite quiet around here because it's near my base. It's my tree farm going crazy. I haven't harvested it for a while. I haven't harvested garden for a while either. It looks great, but I've got quite a lot of produce at this point. I've been living here for at least 50 days now, so that's quite a way. And then, oh yeah, and my bed is set somewhere else because I've been away overnight, so that's unfortunate, but hopefully I can actually remember. Well, I'm not going to mess with that bear, in spite of the fact that I've got all my level. That is not what this is about today, really, so I'm going to even ignore that. So this is my OPHQ base. So I'll usually start out any series, any sort of game rather, with sort of a relatively modest base. Yeah, I never did get round to shipping that stone down bottom side from mining this out, but there's only so much stone a girl really needs. And then I go to sort of a mid-range base, and then this, if I've got time, this is the kind of thing that I tend to do, is to make a really silly kind of very large build indeed. Now, anybody who's been watching my Alpha 14 Let's Play series will find this kind of familiar, and that is because I'm merging two of my favourite base building techniques here. That is the pit of death drop and the inverted tower, or sort of tower multi-level base defense kind of structure. And also, anybody who's been watching my Alpha 14 will find this familiar, and that is because this base came first and was actually kind of the inspiration for my Alpha 14 base. So you can see top side there, we've just got sort of the top end of the tower. I've got a chest here where I keep my supplies for Horde Night. Now here, this is one so I can shoot zombies in the face when they start messing about at the top end of the tower. I'm not actually meant to be able to see down at the bottom of the pit from here, and I certainly can't. This is quite a deep pit. I can't remember how many blocks I had to dig down. I can remember how long it took me to do it, but I can't remember how many blocks I had to dig down. So this is the top level for shooting zombies in the face, and then we go down a bit further. It's certainly far enough down that by the time you get to the bottom, even a feral horn cannot detect you. So we go down quite a few blocks here to get to the mid-level, and from here I can see down into the bottom of the pit, where we obviously have a dead zombie, and just demonstrating its effectiveness, and a load of fully upgraded spikes, but they no doubt require repairing at this point. And from here we cannot see up, but there's no point even trying because it's a long way up. It's about 20 blocks at least up. Yeah, we need some repairing down there, but from here we can see down to the pit. We can't see all of it, but we're far enough up that we can evade zombie spitters quite well. I've also got some torches in there as well, and it's upgraded to steel for I don't know, about four blocks or something like that up. And then we have another level down from here, which takes us down to the bottom of the pit. So we can take these blocks out, and then we can see. Now what I tend to do, we've got some more scrap frames in here. They're not just spares, but they're also so that we can get down there and repair the spikes and the walls if need be. So basically what I do is I just place steel my scrap frames like, yeah, you see they've damaged that down there, like that kind of thing. It needs more of them, obviously, because I've only got 2 there, and really what I need is to get the stack of them out of there. But you can see how that might work, and then you can kind of move about on the spikes safely and repair stuff up that needs repairing. I'm not going to do that right now. And then I've got these here just because, obviously, once the zombies get sort of into a writhing mass down here, they start, gore pile or no gore pile, they start walking around on top of each other's heads, so they can reach up here quite easily. It's only I think this is 4 blocks up, not counting the spikes, which obviously is 1 block as well. So I put these here, which I can shoot through. Well, hey, oops, damn it, there goes my wall, which I can shoot through, but the zombies, you know, so obviously if there's any zombie aggro here, I can just shoot them straight in the face if they've got any ideas. But the other thing is that spiders can't just kind of walk in here straight away, and of course the other zombies can't just walk in here straight away either. So I've got a little bit of a sort of a kill zone right here. Then if they manage to break through these and, you know, things get a little overwhelming, I've actually got a killing tunnel here, and this is meant to be like a zombie lock between. You can see it's got a fully reinforced. I haven't reinforced that to steel yet. I was planning on, but this is kind of like a zombie sort of killing tunnel. Now, it would have been even more effective had I possibly, I'm not sure. The idea was that they'd slide down these and into there, but actually maybe if I'd had the floor of the tunnel entirely spikes, that I could kind of, the idea is I could backpedal down here and do this, while simultaneously shooting them in the face, and that way they all sort of, yeah, get stuck in the pit of spikes. I've never had the opportunity to test this because so far, fingers crossed, they've never actually got in here, but that is the plan. That was the idea with this design, so that's something that I've not really done before, but that was my idea. So this is my last bastion, basically, and then beyond there we have, basically this is just the tunnel top. So that is a hatchway that leads to my base, and then in here I've got some repairing materials, I've got my guns and my ammo, and down here, so all spare stuff, just emergency stuff in case I've forced to retreat. And then down here through a hatch, so they're less likely to be able to beat their way through, is our base proper. And I've inset into the walls, it's difficult to control it while you do this, I've inset candles every other, you know, few blocks, just to make sure that the place is illuminated, so I don't even need my head torch here. It's all very civilized. And then this is just kind of, yeah, a little random area. Bases evolve gradually as you go. It's actually too bright in here. I could do with changing the torches. It's all right by night, but by day it's really, really bright. So this is my main sort of workshop area, I guess. And this was, you know, the entirety of my base to start with, obviously. So we've got my building supplies here. A lot of this is filled with stone. There we go. As I say, there's only so much stone a girl actually needs. We've got our concrete mixer here. As usual, I got a couple of gun safes. We've got weapons and ammo storage, random chests as well, just in case there's something that doesn't quite fit in anywhere else, really. Food of varying types, you know, canned goods and what have you. And I haven't actually been living here for that long, I guess. I've been mostly building it and running back to a temporary base. And then this one, I believe, is half full of stone as well. Let's just put my meat away in here. There we go. So you can see I haven't got that much food in there just yet. So that's the storeroom. And then I've got, again, way bright in here. Need to make some candles. Too bright, too bright. Then this is the cooking area, which, if you'll look, is still underneath. I can't zoom anymore, but it's still underneath the kind of cowl of concrete that I've placed above. So the idea is that any screamers will be attracted to where the pit is, but this is absolutely directly below the pit. So they don't usually fall down the pit. So I usually have to go out hunting them. But again, this is kind of similar to the base that we have in my Alpha 14 Let's Play series, but I refined that one. This one, I haven't spent as much time on this base as I have in my Alpha 14 Let's Play series base, so I haven't really had the opportunity to refine it and test it so very much, besides which my hordes are a bit bugged out in this save. Get to day 180. I can't remember when the hordes are, and apparently neither can the feral zombies. They can't remember either. So we've got 4 forges, we've got 4 cooking fires, so obviously if this lot's all going, yeah, Screamer-tastic, Screamageddon. And then this part of the base here is the more civilized part that actually looks nice, and this is what I always like to do with my base builds, is make them look nice, and I try and do something a little bit different each time. So I really like the flagstone. It's one of my favorite blocks. And then of course my other favorites, adobe, redwood, and pavers, all of which can be crafted in the game now. And then yeah, I like to inset my lights into the wall like this as well. I think that looks pretty nice. So that's just a little entrance way with a vault door at each end, because I don't really like using vault doors in my base proper, because they look pretty nasty, to be honest. I'd quite like to be able to make a nice wood door and then place that there, so I can kind of kid myself that it's not the zombie apocalypse. So in here we've got a nice traditional kind of style room, but the ceiling's a bit grandiose. It's a bit kind of Edwardian or Georgian England, I don't know. I went a bit crazy with that. But that design works quite nicely, not just for looks, but for being able to inset candles into for lighting above, as you can see. So it's pretty effective that way. And then, yeah, I like to use my pink and my white adobe to sort of glam the place up a little bit, plus some flagstone as well. So it's all very civilized down here. It's a shame in our kitchens. Again, I've laid out my kitchen in Alpha 14 base a little bit like this. This one came first, so that's kind of, I gave myself ideas, I guess. But I do like this layout. It's a shame we can't make an oven or a sink, because that's what I feel I'm kind of missing here. And then, of course, I've got my fire here, and I've even got a cooking pot and a grill and some beakers, so I can actually do some cooking in my own sort of home. And this is actually directly under the road, and this is quite deliberate. Part of the reason I made the hallway through there quite as long as it is, and in point of fact at all, was because I was quite deliberately placing my living quarters underneath the road, because asphalt's one of the hardest substances in the game at the moment. We can make it now, of course, as well, so that's pretty nice. I might use some at some point. And then again, similar if you've seen my Alpha 14 base, but a little bit more glam. I did spend a lot of time building this base. I spent very little time actually living in it, but a lot of time building it. So there we've got a railing all the way around the outside. We've got wooden desk. I've used glass blocks as well to sort of wall this off. So obviously this is massively insecure, but the idea is the Zeds do not get in here. And in my experience, they mostly don't get into, you know, my inner sanctum. That's why I go so bananas with security, really. So we've got a nice little bath down there, but for some reason it's got some fairly alarming looking currents in it. No such thing as still water in this game. And then the bedroom is in here, which is just a bit of a bizarre design, really. I'm not entirely sure why I did this. I just kind of messed about until it looked like, I don't know, different, I guess. So it's on a raised dais to the bed. So I should probably reset my... This is the trouble with these beds. You kind of have to destroy them and then remake them to reset them. So I've put a bed down somewhere else, and yeah, my bed's suddenly set to here instead. So, but I don't think I can actually... I think I'd have to actually destroy it and then remake it. So I'm probably going to have to do that. And then this, the idea is it's for my clothing and things, but they're still in the main storeroom, which was my base for ages until I got this finished. I literally only got this finished a couple of days ago. So hence my wanting to showcase it, and it's pretty cool, it's pretty nice. Yeah, I tend to sort of go a bit all out with, you know, you get to day 180, you just think, yeah, do you know what, we've got to do something to sort of really, you know, you run out of things to build and things to do. And I don't tend to go for really, really epically huge bases because they take forever just to walk around in them. It takes long enough to get down here. It's kind of midnight by the time I get into the, you know, the nice part of my base. And the shame is that quite often I don't actually even come in here. It's just for the eye candy, really. It's, you know, unless I die and respawn. It's a comforting place to respawn, I guess. But there you go. So we do it just kind of for the fun, don't we? And just to see, you kind of mess around and see what you can achieve. So there you go, guys. This is my OPHQ base, and I can tell you that the zombie defences out front there are pretty effective, actually. Where's my bacon and eggs? Damn it. I'm starving to death here. They are pretty effective, but as I say, at this stage, and I often find this to be the case, I try and do a sort of a horde test on camera, and by the time I've finished building a base like this, we've got way past day 49, and all the sort of feral horde spawns seem to have just gone a little bit crazy and just can't be relied upon any longer. So, so there you go. Unfortunately, I failed on the horde test. I tried to video them and they didn't show up, or about 5 showed up and just kind of were a bit pathetic, really. So they don't make them like they used to. So it's going to take me ages to wend my weary way back outside again. And the other thing I would probably change here is that the hatchways being directly beneath the ladder means that the ladder, yeah, you then have to close the hatchway before you can't go straight up. You have to close the hatchway because otherwise you can't get up the next section of ladder. So it's a bit slow that way as well. And here we are back into the open air. So there you go, guys. It's a pretty long way down there, and I don't want to fall down myself. But yeah, it's not bad actually. It's quite deep. It took me a heck of a long time to mine it all out. I obviously didn't, you know, struggle for resources to make all the concrete. I've still got about 3 chests full of the stuff left over. So, so yeah, no real problem there. I should probably upgrade a bit more of the steel up top here. You can see it's taken a little bit of damage. That was the horde. That was the last horde that did that. They basically just grooved around up here, and none of them even fell down the pit. I don't know. It sounded like they were stuck on something, but I don't know what, because by the time I came up here, they'd gone. Quite odd, really. Horde's not really working at this point. So sorry about that, but you'll have to imagine that this probably works pretty well when the hordes can be bothered to join us. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do tell me what you think of the base, and as ever, if you want to share any base making ideas, I love to see what other people do or hear what other people do in the game, because yeah, all come up with such different ideas. Yeah, I will continue from time to time to release things into my creative zone, whether it's something like this, which is an actual base, which is, you know, I'm using and in a living save, or something that's just completely frivolous and pointless and for fun and in a world with no zombies because they would destroy it. Whichever. I haven't done one of those for a little while, but I probably will do again just because I love the creative aspect of this game. So, yeah. as ever, if you enjoyed the episode, do let me know. Hit the like button. Leave any comments you like, and check out what else I've got in my creative zone. It's got quite a few episodes there now, of one kind or another. And hopefully Helix and I will be back up and running with our Friendly Fire series, probably Series 5 in Alpha 15 very soon, if we're not already started with it by this point. Okay guys, thanks for watching, keep gaming, stay happy, bye bye for now.